Hello and welcome back to Easy English with James. Today we're going to look at two more sounds. These are the R and the L sound, represented by the R and the L letters in English. These are very difficult for some Asian speakers of English, Asian people who are learning English, especially people from China, Japan and parts of South Korea. Okay, so if you have problems with these two sounds or you just want to practice them, stay tuned. Hopefully this lesson is going to be able to help you a lot. Okay, stick with me. In your mouth, you'll notice behind your teeth here, you have a sort of what we call a ridge, the alveolar ridge. Your tongue, the tip of your tongue, needs to start by touching the back of that ridge, okay? Just behind your front teeth, you'll feel that little solid piece of flesh. That is where your tongue starts, and your tongue should flap down, like so. La, 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 la. Okay, that is how we make the L sound, the L sound. It's very important that that tip of the tongue starts by touching the alveolar ridge behind your front two teeth, these two here, okay? And you flap it down, la, la, okay? If you want to know if you're doing this correctly, place your tongue there and breathe in and see if you can feel, especially if you're outside, cold air going around your tongue like this. Okay, you should feel cold air on the right and the left side of your tongue like this, and you should look a little bit like a snake. Okay, but tongue at the back, la, la, la. Now, depending on whether the L sound, the L sound, is at the beginning of a word or at the end of a word, it can change a little bit, okay? In the beginning of words like or love, that L sound is where your tongue starts here and you flap down. Love, like, little, okay? But if the L sound is at the end of a word, like meal, or deal, this time the L starts here and your tongue goes to the place at the back, the alveolar ridge, like so. Meal, yo, meal, and deal. And even again, that word little finishes with an O, okay? Little. And you'll feel that O. The tongue starts here and goes up and touches the back of your teeth, the alveolar ridge, okay? Meal, deal, heel. See if you can hear the difference between the L. At the beginning of words, love, love, like, listen, lady. Now at the end of words, meal, real, heel, feel, seal. Okay? There is a slight difference, mainly caused by when it's at the beginning of words, your tongue is flapping down, and when it's at the end of words, your tongue is slowly going up. Oh, and you're holding your tongue against the back of your teeth, the alveolar ridge. Okay? Some common words, really common, that we can use to practice the L sound are love, love. Watch closely. Love. Watch my tongue. Love, love. Or, not quite as much as love, like, like, like. Lady, lady, lady. Also, lake, lake, lake. Okay, let's see if we can read a sentence where every word starts with l, okay? It's going to be difficult, but it will get you to practice flapping that tongue up and down, okay? Try this. Lucky Lucy likes lemonade. Lucky Lucy likes lemonade. Lucky, you'll see that l, lucky Lucy likes lemonade. Okay? Okay, let's try and see if we can say that sentence a little bit faster. Lucky Lucy likes lemonade. Or really slowly. Lucky Lucy likes lemonade. And you'll notice every time the tongue is going up and flapping down. Lucky Lucy likes lemonade. Okay, I probably look really crazy doing that, but it's very important that you remember that the tip of the tongue is starting behind that ridge and l, flapping down. Okay, Lucky Lucy likes lemonade. How about another sentence? Okay, let's try this one. Liam likes licking lollipops. Liam likes licking lollipops. Liam likes licking lollipops. Lots and lots of l sounds in there, okay? Let's try it slowly. Liam likes licking lollipops. Liam likes licking lollipops. A little bit faster. Liam likes licking lollipops. Liam likes licking lollipops. Now you try. Okay, try as fast as you can. Liam likes licking lollipops. Okay, if you want to practice that, go back, rewind, watch that again, and practice until it feels really natural for you to make that l. Okay, another word we can use here that is very common, you have heard me say it many times in this lesson already, is lots. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. Okay, you can say that as many times as you want. Lots and lots and lots and lots. Okay, practice lots. Practice that lots and lots and lots. Okay. Okay, moving on to the r, the R sound. This one is a little bit more difficult in my opinion, especially for teachers trying to show you where the tongue goes in the mouth. Basically, if you imagine that the back of your tongue, not the front of your tongue, the back of your tongue has two sides, the right side and the left side, and you want the right side to massage the teeth, the back teeth here, but at the same time you want the back side of the tongue here to massage the teeth here, sort of like this. Okay, looks crazy again, but that two sides of your tongue touching the back teeth is where your tongue should be when you make the R sound. The back of the tongue, it goes up and out like this, okay? And the front of the tongue sort of slides back and dangles in the middle here, like so. Okay? And what we try to do is we push the R sound over the tongue and out, like so. R, 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 r. Okay, it's very important. Watch the front of my mouth. It kind of goes into a sort of circle shape. R, r. You'll find this at the beginning of words like really. And watch my mouth closely in that word. Really, really, really. Or real, real, real. Now, luckily, I'm from the UK, and in most British English accents, the R sound is actually less common and less strong than in American accents, American English accents. For example, Americans have a special way to pronounce that R at the end of words like better or doctor. Okay, in American, they actually use that R sound at the end of words that finish in ER, AR, or OR. So for example, doctor, they'll say that R sound. They will articulate, that means make, that R sound. Doctor. And you'll see the R sound at the end. In British English, we don't bother with any of that. We don't use that. If we see an ER, an AR, or an OR, we just say the schwa sound, which you can see in this video here. We just say better, doctor, happier. Okay, so it's a lot easier in British English to get away with not using that R sound all the time. Okay, but at the beginning of words like real, ridiculous, and ready, you do need to make the correct R sound. Okay, R. A good way to practice this is by saying run, run, run. Run, run, run. Okay, watch my mouth really closely. Run, run, run. You can choose which side that your mouth goes down to when you finish that word. So you'll notice that when I start, my mouth goes up and into a circle like this, but then it goes down to the left. Run, run. You can have fun with this. You could go run or run and go any direction you want. I normally just go run. Okay, run, run, ready, ridiculous. Okay. Some really common words with the R sound are the colour, red, that is a red shirt or a red car. The very popular food in Asia and all over the world, rice. Okay, this one is super important because if you use the L sound here, la, and not the R sound, R, you change the word into something that people definitely don't want to eat, okay? If you don't say rice, and you actually say lice are these horrible little insects, creatures that live in your hair, in your bed. People don't like to eat lice, okay? So be careful that you don't say, I like to eat lice. I like to eat lice. Lice is my favorite food. That is wrong. What you want to say is rice with that R sound. Rice. Rice is my favorite food. If you want to practice getting it really strong, that R sound, move your mouth as much as possible. Rice. 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 I like to eat rice. Okay, in that sentence you've got like, la, and rice, ra. Okay, ra. Lice and rice. Very important that you don't get them two things muddled up or confused. Okay, I just want to pause here for one moment to remind you that if you are enjoying my English lessons, please hit that like and subscribe button so that you don't miss any of my future lessons and more people can see my lessons in the future as well. Okay, let's go straight back to the lesson. Another word is the word right. Yeah, the opposite of wrong and right, okay? We practice this a lot in my English classes, right and wrong. Even though wrong starts with that W, it's both the same sound. It's an R sound, a R. Right and wrong. Practice with me. Right and wrong. 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 Another word we can use to practice this is the word rich. Most people would like to be rich, okay? Rich with that R sound. Watch closely. Rich, 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 rich. Rich. Sometimes, if you want to practice difficult sounds in English, you can double the amount of letters in front. So instead of saying rich, we say rich. rich, and you're making that sound just to practice. Often English teachers do this when they are teaching beginner students or young students so that they really practice that sound. Rich, really, luke, like. Okay, and you're getting the L, the L, and the first vowel sound there. Like. Okay, let's try a practice sentence with the R sound, the R sound. Richie Rich runs around the river. 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 Now I want you to try, okay? After me. Richie Rich runs around the river. Okay, now try one more time a little bit faster. Richie Rich runs around the river. Okay, lots of R sounds, lots of R sounds in there. Richie Rich runs around the river. Again, practice that as many times as you need until you can say it this fast. Richie Rich runs around the river. Richie Rich runs around the river. That's the speed that you're looking at if you want to know exactly how a native English speaker would read that sentence. Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one is Rob and Ruby ran out of rice. Rob and Ruby ran out of rice. Let's listen a bit slowly. Rob and Ruby ran out of rice. Rob and Ruby ran out of rice. Okay, your turn. Practice after this. Rob and Ruby ran out of rice. Okay, one more time. Rob and Ruby ran out of rice. Your turn. Excellent. Again, you'll see that R sound many times in that sentence. Rob, Rob, and Ruby, ran out of rice. Okay, and you can add as many sounds in there as you want to help you perfect that R sound. Okay? Now, you've heard me say the R sound and the L sound, but you haven't heard me say them in the same sentence, or even sometimes very close to each other in the same word. When you're reading rich and really and ready, it's probably easier to hear that R sound. Same with the L sound in like and Luke and Liam, okay? But when they're close together, it can be a little bit harder. One of the most difficult two-word sentences or two-word clauses that you can say in English to practice both of these sounds, I like it because even for me it can be difficult to pronounce, is truly rural. Truly rural. True, that's the first R sound after the T. True. To make that T sound first, you just T, and then the R sound is immediately afterwards. The T pushes the air into the R, like so. True. And then we've got Lee at the end, so there's that L sound. True, Lee, rural. Okay, there's a rural. Truly rural. This is a real English sentence, okay? Something that is truly rural means something that is really in the countryside, really from the countryside, far away from the cities. Truly rural. It's quite okay to say it slowly, truly rural, but even I have trouble saying this really fast, like so. Truly rural. And you'll see, because my mouth and jaw have to move so much when we make that R sound, and then we have to flap the tongue when we make the L sound. Truly rural. Your mouth and jaw move so much in that clause. Truly rural. Okay, practice with me. Truly rural. Truly rural. That's a really tough one, okay? As fast as you can. Truly rural. Truly rural. Okay, rewind. Practice that as many times as you need. It can be difficult, as I said, to hear the difference. But make sure that that R sound, your tongue is not touching the top of your mouth. In the R sound, your tongue does not touch anywhere in your mouth. The back of your tongue touches the back of your teeth, the back teeth here. But the tip of your tongue, that's the front of your tongue, doesn't touch anywhere. Ruh, ruh. But in the L sound, la, your tongue does touch the back ridge, the back little piece behind your mouth. La, la, the alveolar ridge. La, okay? One more time. Truly rural, truly rural. This is truly rural. I feel like I'm in the countryside now. This is truly rural here. One word that has both of these sounds is the word real. Real. Watch closely. Re. There's that r. Real. La. And it finishes with real. But notice it doesn't finish with real la. Real la. Okay? Because when it's at the beginning of a word, that al sound is much stronger. La. Like. Okay? But when it's at the end of word, we just basically try to stop the sound as soon as your tongue hits there. Real. It's almost like a stop sign. Real. Real. Beautiful. Okay, beautiful. And there's a stop. It feels like you're stopping the sound with your tongue almost. Beautiful. And the sound stops. Okay? But at the beginning of the words, la, it's really strong. It's a much stronger sound. Another tongue twister that is very, very common when students are learning these two sounds is red lorry, yellow lorry. Red lorry, yellow lorry. This one, again, even for me, is quite difficult when you say it really fast and many times, okay? The brain seems to want to forget either the L or the R sounds. So you end up saying red lolly, yellow lolly, rather than red lorry and yellow lorry, okay? Red lorry, yellow lorry. Law, that's the L, re, lorry. And then you've got red and yellow. Red lorry, yellow lorry. Try it with me. Red lorry, yellow lorry. Red lorry, yellow lorry. Red lorry, yellow lorry. Now try it a little bit faster. Red lorry, yellow lorry. Red lorry, yellow lorry. Red lorry, yellow lorry. A little bit harder, okay? If you say it too fast, I promise you, you will eventually make a mistake. Okay, finally, another one to practice these sounds is really leisurely. Really leisurely. Really leisurely. Really leisurely. Really leisurely. Really, r. Let's try with a double R. R, really. Leisurely. Really leisurely. R, really. Leisure. Lee. R, really. Leisurely. Okay. R, really. Leisure. Lee. Really leisurely. Really leisurely. Okay, one word of advice. Many Mandarin speakers and Japanese speakers find these sounds especially difficult. And what they do is they often replace that L sound at the end of words with a U. In words like feel and meal, rather than ending with the meal and real, they will change it to a U. So they'll just say meal and rio and dio, okay? That's where they might get that Mandarin or East Asian accent from, because they're not fully pronouncing the L at the end, okay? So if you want to reduce your accent a little bit and perfectly pronounce that L sound, just make sure that the tongue is touching that place behind your teeth, the alveolar ridge, okay? L, real. See where my tongue has finished? Real, deal, meal, okay? And remember, for the R sound, that you really, really move your jaw. Really, ready, real, rich. Okay, now I'm going to test you a little bit, okay? I'm going to read a sentence, but I'm going to read one of the words with the wrong sound. The wrong sound, okay? Most of the words will be correct, but you have to tell me in the comments which word I am saying, which word I am pronouncing with the wrong sound, okay? The first sentence will be with R sound, the r. But one of the words will be with a L, and I want you to tell me which word I am pronouncing wrong. Okay, let's go. Okay, number one, Rich Rachel really leads. Rich Rachel really leads. Rich Rachel really leads. Rich Rachel really leads. Which one of those am I pronouncing with an L sound and not a R, not an R sound? Okay? Now let's try one with the L sound. One of these I'm going to pronounce with an R, a R, but it shouldn't be. That would be wrong. See if you can hear which one. Louise lives reft of the lovely lake. 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 Which word did I pronounce wrong in that sentence? Write it in the comments below and I'll see if your English listening is getting better and better. Okay? Well done. Thank you very much. Okay, the big difference between these two sounds is the position of the tongue, the tip of the tongue. In the L, the L sound, the tip of the tongue touches something called the alveolar ridge, which is just behind your front teeth. Your front teeth are here. Behind there, you'll feel this like upside down mountain going across your mouth. That is called the alveolar ridge. The tip of your tongue should be touching that ridge at the start of this L sound, that L, L. In the R sound, your tongue, the tip of your tongue, does not touch. It moves and it kind of hovers in the middle of your mouth, goes a little bit forward, but doesn't touch that alveolar ridge, okay? See if you can see the difference with my mouth. In the L sound, L, L, the tongue starts here and goes down. It is touching the alveolar ridge, that place behind your teeth. In the R sound, your tongue is not touching. That is the big difference between these two sounds, and it is the difference that most people make mistakes with. Okay, if you enjoyed this lesson, please make sure that you hit that like button and subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future lessons. If you have any ideas for lessons that you want me to make, write them in the comments and I promise if I have free time, I will try my best to make them as soon as possible. There are many lessons now on my list and I am trying to make them as fast as possible. Okay, remember to hit that like and subscribe if you enjoy my content and I will see you again for another lesson. Bye bye.